It's Yvonne here to do your What's Cracking reading. I think we'll use the Pagan Tarot for your reading today. How funny, the weather here is absolutely absurd. It was 6 degrees overnight. It's freezing this morning. I am not sure what's going on, but we only have a top of 17 today, so it's really ridiculous for summer weather. 1 minute I'm running around in a skimpy top, next minute I have a jumper on. Okay, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for all of your support, for all the beautiful people that I see on a daily basis that I feel like I know. Thank you. And thank you for those of you who've gone over and are watching my other channel, because I see you comment on both, which is always good. And if you haven't looked at my other channel yet, the link is below. So I'm just doing star sign readings on that channel, although, you know, things may change in the future. Okay. Is there anything I need to talk to you about? No, but I did have a little conversation yesterday on scammers, and I know people did write to me and tell me they'd got scammed. Most tarot card readers won't approach you directly. I'm really not sure that I know any. We believe that it's up to you to find us and ask us. So if somebody approaches you, don't get sort of sidetracked into that. And if you don't know what to say and you feel like you're being conned, just say to them, look, hang on, I can't talk at the moment, but I'll get back to you later, and I'll go to your website, or I'll follow up your website, something like that. They'll leave you alone. It was funny because last time they did that, I have a lot of family. I have a very big family, and in England. And they were approaching family members, and my family members were saying, you're not Yvonne, like, go away. It was really quite funny. So apparently they were getting very angry with people who were not taking their offers. So just block them, put the phone down, whatever, and go and look for your own reader. For those of you who have come to me for personal readings, I thank you for having trust in me to bring those messages to you as well, because I don't always say that. Queen of Cups coming through. Yes, I have lots of love for my audience. All right, let's get into this reading. One more shuffle and we'll be on our way. Splitting the deck. Okay, oh, Nine of Pentacles coming straight out. You know, this Nine of Pentacles has come out a bit lately, and yesterday I think I put it down here in this deck, or maybe on the Good Tarot, might have been on the Rider-Waite Tarot, and I went over and used another deck, as I always do, and I pulled out exactly the same card. So something about this Nine of Pentacles at the moment is very potent. Now, traditionally, this card talks about self-sufficiency, feeling independent. You're nearly to the 10. You only need that last ace to get to the 10. So you've nearly made what you want to make out of yourself. So you're very comfortable in this energy. Some people see it as the single card because it's a card of independence. Doesn't necessarily mean that, though. It can still be you in a relationship, but feeling very independent and you know, and having someone that trusts you to be this way, someone who supports your independence. So that's the Nine of Pentacles. And look, there is an Ace of Pentacles sitting right behind that, and not an Ace of Pentacles. That's round, Yvonne. This is a straight sticky thing. It's an Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands talks about a brand new beginning too. You know, it's about passion and drive. I mean, it can be, the wand can relate to any area of your life. It's not particularly one or another. Sometimes it can be a very new physical. You might join the gym, for example. So it might be a very physical new beginning. It can often mean the start of a new relationship that's, you know, just sort of coming through. But whatever this is, brand new beginning, you're feeling really good. So to me, this makes me feel like you're ready for a new beginning. So maybe you're preparing yourself for something here. Maybe you're preparing yourself for a little old King of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Remember, not always does this relate to the sign. Always think, if you don't know a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, what are the attributes of the King of Cups? The King of Cups does love very, very deeply, but he's not always expressive like the Queen of Cups. She is over expressive. She knows, she's very psychic, and she knows how to express herself. The King of Cups is a little bit more sort of guarded. It's the masculine energy as opposed to feminine energy. So if you think of them in a slightly different way. So the King of Cups may show his love by, supporting you or working for you in some way, shape or form. I don't mean working as in physical work, supporting you to do what you need to do. This is a person who, has a lot of respect, but all masculine, protection, love through protection. I guess if you looked at the 5 languages of love, you probably see which ones are more masculine and which ones are more feminine. Doesn't matter. Some people have more feminine and some people have more masculine sort of attributes. So we're looking at somebody here who shows their love through their masculine attributes. All right, so we have the 3 of Cups coming through, followed by the Devil card. Okay, that's quite interesting energy here. The Devil card represents the sign of Capricorn, and there's always been some deliberation as to why that is the case. I think the devil was always represented by a goat in the old ideas, the cloven hooves, the horns, that type of thing. And I think somehow or another it sort of got brought over in that time. The Devil card can talk about ego. It can talk about those things that we do from ego rather than from our more spiritual selves. So, for example, we're taught a certain way of being with the ego, and we need that ego energy to really get on in life. As much as people say, get rid of your ego, impossible. The ego is very protective. It stops us jumping off cliffs because it knows we could die from doing that. So the ego is necessary. But the ego is not necessary when it is over the top, overly confident, to the point of being restrictive. The devil can also talk about the extremes of that, like extremes of personality, control. There are a lot of extremes with the devil energy. And if it's in reverse, this card can be quite sort of negative. But something here tells me that you are, wow. So you have the Knight of Cups coming up here too. I feel like here there is something coming through for you here. Now, because we've got the King of Cups, it's possible with the Knight of Cups that we're talking about a romantic offer. I feel like here that you're dealing with somebody that perhaps is letting their ego rule them a little bit too much, which might make this offer or this connection for you a little bit challenging. I've got to say, in fairness to the ego, when we first meet somebody, we may be just a little bit more in our ego. I'm not talking about in the overconfidence sort of smarty pants sort of energy. I'm talking about the protective energy. So we may be a little bit more cautious about how we move forward because our ego wants to keep us safe. And sometimes what we can do is we can miss cues because we are so caught up in our ego. Now, this is where red flags come in, because what we can do is when we're in the ego, we can miss those signs. So if somebody is showing us red flags, we can ignore them because we're so busy taking care of ourselves. And I guess here what it makes me feel like is that somebody is coming in perhaps to offer you something, more than likely romance because of the cups, but it could be a job, an opportunity of some kind. And I feel like somehow or another you're a little bit caught up in your own ego and maybe missing signs that the other person is sending. That's how it feels to me. So, this person may be sort of sending you red flags, but you're not watching for what's coming through. Maybe you're just too busy being protective of your own energy. Let's have a look. Okay, so we have the Seven of Wands. Oh, okay. So the Seven of Wands is that card that says that you're standing your ground, you're being defensive. I always say when you're meeting someone, just sort of these are the energies you need to be a little bit cautious with. Sometimes we can be too defensive with people if we've had, experiences in the past that have sort of made us cautious or overly cautious. And sometimes we can be a little too defensive. So it's possible here that you're being asked to sort of, be on your guard, but not be too defensive about whatever's going on here. All right, we have the Empress. See, remember who you are. You don't have to trust other people. You just have to trust your own judgment. That's the really important thing, because what we think is that we have to trust other people to watch out for us, and that ain't never going to happen. So the only way you can be sure of making sure that things are okay is by trusting your judgment. If you feel uncomfortable with something, move on. Don't tolerate it. But you're in Empress energy, which is beautiful because it means that you are really, knowing who you are. You're really comfortable with who you are. You're really sure about who you are. You may be feeling love and attention for this person, but you're still not going to forget how to take care of yourself. All right, so we have the Temperance card coming through. That says it all right there. And then we have the Sun. I want to say to you, the message coming through here is don't be so defensive of yourself and so scared of, trusting someone that you're going to mess up something that's really good. It means be on your guard, but don't be, too dismissive, I want to say. Because I feel like sometimes people come across as being really overconfident and cocky, and when you get to know them, they're not those people at all. So give this person an opportunity and trust yourself that you can make the right judgment if it comes to that. All right, so we have the Hanged Man, so your jury's out there for sure. With the Knight of Swords, ask the questions, and we also have here the Five of Cups. So again, there's this energy of looking through an opportunity with your glasses on from the past. Now, while I would say to you, we have to learn from our past experiences, I also think that we need to give people a chance rather than judging them based on our past experiences. If you feel really uncomfortable in a situation, then this is where you take on this beautiful Knight of Swords energy. You start asking the questions. When somebody's right. Trust your intuition. Don't rule somebody out because they're nervous and perhaps trying to impress you in some way, shape or form. Give yourself an opportunity to see whether that is who they are or whether they are just being overprotective of themselves. I feel like here there's a real strong energy, though, that you are stuck on the fence with this person and unsure. If that's the case, say yes or no. Don't mess around with it. But something here tells me that this person is actually a good person, but maybe they are a little, I almost want to say gun shy. Maybe they're a little gun shy. Maybe it's been a long time since they've dated. Maybe they've had bad experiences too. Ask them. We seem to have this thing about dating, about how much we should put forward and how much we should hold back. And I think people get really confused about that. You don't need to give out too much personal information. Always hold on to your personal stuff. I mean, it's okay to say, I've just come out of a relationship. You can even say, like, I've just come out of a relationship that wasn't very positive, but you don't need to give all the details. So there is a boundary, and remember your personal boundaries. And I think that it's okay to ask people if you're unsure. If they don't want to give you the details, they don't have to. But there's too much of this, don't do this, don't do that. Trust your gut. That's what I said. You have to trust yourself. You have to trust yourself to see whether people have got, good intentions or whether they are just out for what they're going to get. We all get caught. It's just the way life is. You just have to trust your own. And I bet you a million times you've stopped and thought, yeah, it doesn't feel right, but you still go past it, especially if you're sort of oh, look, we have the Queen of Cups coming through. Especially if you are a trusting person. Maybe trust until you don't trust anymore, but don't let yourself get caught up or snagged by some, I know catfish, we call catfish on the internet, where people are pretending to be something they're not. You catch people out. People do it all the time. I hear them. They say one thing and then they say something else. And I think, yeah, you just contradicted yourself. Queen of Cups coming through. So I do feel that you have with the Queen of Wands. I want to see why you've got a second queen here, because you have the Lovers card, which is a choice of two people. Um, the Lovers card, yes, it talks about two people brought together by divine forces. But I always say the original card was called the Choice, and it was the choice between two people. And I have two queens here. So is it that you're dealing with somebody here that you feel maybe in another situation? I think we've all got caught with that one before too, like sort of having something to do with somebody and then finding out later that they've been quite flirtatious, but they're married or in a relationship. And you think, I didn't sort of pick up on that. Sometimes you can pick up on it. I feel like here, this is maybe what you're picking up on. That's why the Devil card is there. All right, let's have a look. Okay, so we have the Nine of Pentacles. So I feel like you're ready today. You're ready to get out there. Brand new beginning coming towards you. Somebody who's coming up as the King of Cups. Now remember, if the King of Cups is in the reverse, he very often represents somebody who's quite narcissistic and I almost want to say cold, calculating and manipulative. So it could be you're dealing with somebody like that, because we did have the Three of Cups here, and I didn't particularly take note of that because it didn't feel like that was the way it was. But we do have the Devil card coming through right after it, and then we have this offer coming through. So are you receiving an offer? Look, there's a choice here, rightio. So I feel like here you're receiving an offer from somebody who may have somebody else in the picture. They may come across as very endearing, lovely. I don't think there's anything wrong with this person at all. I think they're actually going to really sort of make you feel quite at home with them. But I feel like here I need to say to you, there may be somebody else in the picture here. So while you're feeling all Queen of Cups, you've got a Queen of Wands in the background here. And because I have this Lovers card, I feel like this person is either making a choice between you and them, making a choice to move on from a relationship perhaps, but maybe doing it before they've completed the last stage. So whatever you're doing here with this Lovers card, I would say to you, be cautious, be wary. If you want to go ahead, that's entirely up to you, but just know what you're getting yourself in for here, because I feel like this person has somebody else in the background. All right, let's read you an oracle card, where we'll read from the Mystical Shaman Oracle this morning. Oh, and a whole heap of cards want to come through. I'm not going to read 4. We're already past our sort of general reading time. Oh, and there it is, the Medicine Wheel. So why have you come out this morning? Card 35. No matter how many times I look at these cards, and I've had them for quite a long time. I think I bought them in Adelaide. They are just so stunningly beautiful. Look. The Medicine Wheel is a sacred hoop with 4 cardinal directions well marked. It represents the cycle of life, the cycles of nature, and the circular patterns of our cosmos. It has been used for millennia in indigenous cultures to bring harmony and well-being to the village. Its directions symbolize the 4 steps the shaman takes to become a person of wisdom and power. To manifest blue skies in your life, it's important you take a look at certain aspects of your being. Enter the Medicine Wheel from the south and reflect on how you're still clinging to events from the past, which came up in that reading. Continue to the west and notice which relationships are toxic and drain your energy. Step into the north and ask yourself, do I know my passion and show it? Enter the east direction, visualizing how you want to live the next chapter of your life. What just beautiful advice. It is up to you how much time you spend in each direction, days, minutes, or months. But when you are done, make sure to step outside the wheel and contemplate your journey. I feel like here that maybe I'm talking to people that have been through some healing. I've already been through some experiences, and maybe you're just needing to sort of test the waters in terms of how much you've learned. It's very exciting to sort of get back on the dating market when you've learned so much about, red flags, narcissism, and just keeping in mind that there is a huge amount of narcissistic people on dating sites. I think that they did a study and found some huge amount. It was over 50%. So being cautious about who you're talking to, making sure that you investigate. And if you don't want to go on a dating site, so be it. Don't go on one. If you feel that you can just leave it up to the universe to bring you what you need, it happens. All right, have a fabulous day. Thank you.